Good morning. It's June the 16th. I have a couple of finished items. Not too many. Couple. I do have one whip that I have not done anything to. And, yeah, now we're having the hair starting to stick straight up, straight out. You gotta love hair. Gets a little wackadoodle. First, I'm going to show you some of the finished items I have. And I found another skein of this. I can't even remember the name of it because I already threw away the band. So I made another couple of the Divine hats. And then, of course, this was just a combination of some other yarns I found. One of the Mandela cakes when they first came out. Honeydew? I think that's the name of that one. But that's a finished object. And of course, I did get the pockets on the pocket shawl sewn on. And I'll be honest, I do not care for the pocket that Not Yourself Out Sonia put on these. It's a beautiful pocket shawl, but quite honestly, the pockets suck. And they're pretty difficult to get on there. But yeah, I did sew them on. I have a whip. This is my son's. And I have 2 more rows on this side to do, and then I start the pockets. That should be done by this week, and then I may take a picture of it because I'm just going to send it off to him. So you won't see it finished unless I remember to take a picture. Maybe I'll have my husband take a picture of me wearing it to show you, the way that it looks finished. Now, I ordered some things. And I ordered tracing paper from Amazon. Now, this is the size of the tracing paper. It is 36 by 20 yards. So it's a pretty good size. It's 3 feet in size. However, the box it came in was 5 feet long. What? 5 feet long and about this wide. What? Amazon. Think about it. Now, one other thing that I had ordered is I did get a roll of patterns that I ordered from PDF Plotting. And they are a company in Virginia. And when you buy digital patterns, they will print them off, for a certain amount of money. And then they'll ship it to you. That box was 4 feet, and these are probably, yep, they're 36 inches. So that box was 4 feet, but we expected it to be a box that way because, quite honestly, my husband's geology club had ordered posters to be printed out from this company in Virginia. They are one of the few that does it for a lot of people around the world. And they do maps and construction things as well as patterns, any kind of PDF that you wanted printed out on a large format, which is what a plotting machine does. Normally they're at least 20 inches. Some of them are 36, 72. They do a lot of map making, those kind of things. And the university had used them when their plotter had died because there was a part that was needed to repair their plotter for the geology department. So they had ordered from this company. So we knew they were a good company. But Their posters came in a round cylinder. Mine came in a triangle box. They're rather interesting. And hang on, I gotta go get something else. Okay, I'm back. I had also ordered some more fabric, and this is some knit fabric to make a couple of shirts, and I really like that kind of color. It's a kind of peachy, dark peach color. And then I ordered from a new company to me for fabrics for some knit fabrics, because, you know, I'm trying to learn how to sew with knits and make some things. Fell in love with that one. And I believe that was $3.60 a yard. Good prices. But this next print, I absolutely adore. Can you see those kitty cats? It is a knit fabric, and this was $3.60 a yard as well. Got 2 yards to make a couple of shirts with each of those. And that fabric company is Girl Charlie, and she has some excellent prices for the knits that she has. Some of the prints are like, but she has quite a bit of different types of fabric in that shop, and it's I enjoy going and looking. Those are the only other finished objects, unless you want to look at a mask that I did finish. Pleated mask for the Penn State camo. It's real tree camo. I need to get those bagged up and the final sanitation and bagged up to go out. So that's what I've been busy doing. I have been continuing to sew. I've been just sent off another, I think, 100 to one of the other reservations. Pine Ridge is still on my list to do, so I need to finish those up. I have another 200 masks cut upstairs that I need to get started on this week. But I am also going to start back on making bags for the shop. And yes, someone had asked me if the vintage simplicity with those vintage women and the outfits, if I was going to make some bags with those. Yes, I do plan on it. They probably won't be out until the end of the week. I think I have about 20, 30 of the yarn cozies that I am working on getting those up to as well. And I don't know if I showed you the mask that I had done with the knit. I'm not real impressed with it, just because it's fine for a mask when you get it on, and it's perfectly fine. However, do you see what keeps happening when you talk with the knit? It goes right into your mouth. So I'm finding that rather annoying. I have another pattern that I'm trying that's a little bit different, and I think it'll work out a little bit better than this pattern. This is one that someone had sent to me to look at because they wanted some knit, because they thought it would be cooler for the summer. That's true. But also lighter mask, you know, lighter fabrics will work and be cooler than having the dark, like this color, dark navy and black. A lot of people want black. I don't know how to tell you this, people. Black is a hard fabric to find this time of day. It just is. Um, you can find plenty of it in a polyester cotton when you go to Joann's, but the full cotton, as soon as they get a bolt on there, usually within a day, it's done. So, yeah, black is a hard fabric to find. And I use black with a lot of my crumb quilting and the, quilts that are just um, scrap quilts because it makes great binding. It ties everything together with all the colors. So I haven't been able to make any quilts lately that have that because can't find black. So gray doesn't work as well. Charcoal gray doesn't work as well. I've tried that. I don't think it pops as well, but you know, it'll be what happens during this time. Just because we're still making a lot of masks, a lot of states still requiring them. Although I do know there's a lot of people lately I've been seeing that aren't wearing masks. They just quit wearing masks. Um, we have COVID testing here in our area now, and my husband had asked them, are they doing the antibodies or just testing to see if you have it or have had it? And he was told they're just doing the testing for if you've had it or you have it. So, because both of us would like to know if we've had it, but we also want to know if we have the antibodies. So, and there's a reason, because whenever I go to the casino, and the last time I went to the casino, I believe it was in December, towards the end of December, and that time I forgot to bring my wipes. When I go to the casino, I use wipes to wipe down the screen, the buttons, the whole thing. Because every time I've gone before and not done that, I come back sick. You catch something, you catch anything there. So I always wipe them down now, and I haven't had an issue. But the last time I went, I forgot to take wipes. So I didn't wipe them down. And I came home and I had a pretty horrible cough. It was just a cough. It wasn't a cold. Normally I catch a cold. This was just a cough. And I had a terrible cough, for several weeks. First week was awful. I had trouble breathing the first week. Sat up in my chair sleeping. So, we have this curiosity to see if I actually had the virus at that time. So, and of course, my doctor just chalked it up to, oh, it's just allergies. She does that a lot, which annoys me. Seriously, annoys me. And I think she does that a lot because I have problems with this ear a lot, which are because of allergies. When you have allergies, they tend to, and you're in the worst part of your allergy and you notice that you have what you think is an ear infection, many times it's just because the eardrum with the allergies is pulled in tight. And when that happens, you need to be using some nose sprays that have a little bit of prednisone in them to help with that portion of the ears. It's rather annoying. Now, last week I didn't talk about the different drinks or teas. These are two that I really enjoy in the summertime. Well, anytime. And these are just the little packets that you add to a drink. And we have, the water, the 16-ounce waters. Now, both of these are not keto friendly because they do have 3 grams of sugar. And it is pure cane sugar. So they mix very easy because of the pure cane sugar into the water, and they're both delicious. And yes, I do have tea. I am going to show you one of my absolute favorite teas. And if you have never tried Republic of Teas, You really should, the Republic of Tea. Their teas are absolutely wonderful. Every flavor I've ever had by the Republic of Tea is delicious. And no, I'm not sponsored by them or paid for this commercial. But this is one of my absolute favorites, is ginger peach. This I can drink without adding any sweetener whatsoever. None. It is that good. And this is they call it ginger peach longevity tea. It is a black tea, and these are individual tea bags, which I just got this one. And these are the tea bags, and I wish there was smell-o-vision, because when you open this up, it is so delicious smelling. You can smell the tea and the peach along with the ginger. And this one is the same thing, but it's to make larger 1-quart pitchers. And my husband and I make those, and he rather enjoys the ginger peach too at times. So that is the end of the commercial. But those are some teas that I really like. I do have quite a few that I use during the summer, as well as some of those that are in the winter only. Winter only for me are things like the eggnog tea, and the ginger snaps is okay. It's not real strong. And some of the other ones that I like during the winter are salted caramel. And when I add sweetener to it, I use just a couple of drops of the Da Vinci sugar-free caramel in it. And it's delicious. Delicious. That's it for this part. Now we're going to go on to what in tarnation. Yeah. First story comes to us about a pair of glasses. Pair of glasses? Unusual antique eyeglasses rescued from landfill. From a landfill. That means someone was out there digging through it and pulled them out. Sell for $5,000. You heard it, $5,000. An unusual pair of eyeglasses believed to be nearly 300 years old were rescued from a New Zealand landfill and auctioned online for more than $5,000. The Tip Shop, a store operated by the Wellington City Council for items that would have otherwise ended up in the southern landfill, said the glasses, a style known as Martin's Margins, were rescued from the trash and listed for the store on an auction site called Trade Me. A last-minute bidding war brought the final price to $5,282 just before the auction ended Sunday night. Martin's Margins were designed by optician Benjamin Martin in 1756. The unusual thick-frame look of the glasses results from Martin's belief that exposure to sunlight would cause damage to eyeglass lenses. The Tip Shop said no maker's mark could be identified on the frames, so it was unclear whether the glasses sold in Sunday's auction were made by Martin himself. The winning bidder, Aaron Smiley, said he bought the glasses as a tribute to his partner Helen Hammond, who died May the 28th after a fight with cancer. Smiley said he and Hammond would often use FaceTime to video chat, and the glasses reminded him of a screenshot he kept showing Hammond using a filter that gave her round glasses and whiskers. I like quirky stuff anyway, and that appealed to me. but it was more the emotional side. I guess I just got carried away with the auction. But what a great tribute to his friend. This next story is a building that has been in the making for, I think, about 5 years. God, these allergies drive me crazy. And it is in China. It is what is a portion of Capita Land Industries or something company. And this building houses a lot of living space, a mall, a private club, dining, and something that is the longest sky bridge in the world. China's horizontal skyscraper opens glass bottom observation deck, and that happened just recently on the 11th. A horizontal skyscraper in China opened up its first attraction to the public, a glass bottom observation deck 820 feet over the ground. The Crystal, a horizontal skyscraper that stretches across the tops of 4 of the 8 skyscrapers that make up Raffles City Chongqing Complex, opened the exploration deck to the public this week as COVID-19 lockdown regulations were loosened. The Crystal, which features aerial walkways connecting it to 2 other buildings in Raffles City, was designed by Moishi Safti for the Capital Land Group real estate organization. The exploration deck, created in partnership with National Geographic, which I find that interesting, features exhibits based around space travel. That's interesting also. The exhibition brings to life space exploration through 5 multi-dimensional exhibition zones at the exploration deck on level 47, and showcases how mankind is making life possible on Mars. A representative for the Crystal told CNN. The tour ends at an indoor park featuring a glass bottom observation deck. The Crystal is planned to eventually also include members-only private club and a restaurant with a bar. There is video. One of the first videos, I believe I'd link down below, it shows how you go through the different areas that are space-like to get to the final destination of this deck. For those of you that have vertigo, there is a small portion, and this is a commercial, the first video. And it does show a gentleman walking across the observation deck while the camera is pointed down below. So if you watch that, just be forewarned that that is there. There are a couple of other videos that I have included for this. One is a time-lapse video showing the construction of it. I think it's maybe 2 minutes long. And then there is also a 10-minute video where they talk about this actual building that they are making. There are also videos that you can find at YouTube about the mall opening. It's a mall, and you can see the difference of it. What I found most astounding is the cost of this building, $24 billion. Why do I find that amazing? Because most likely us Americans, by buying all the crap we buy from China, paid for this building, most likely. Just saying. But it is an amazing building. And there are a couple of videos on YouTube about time-lapse that show you the construction of it. But it also shows you the pollution that is in China. So, just very interesting to see that. This next story is about a barber that has his hands in a lot of areas. Barber invents safety shield to protect customers from coronavirus. A New Jersey barber preparing to reopen his shop invented a shield designed to help salon workers and their customers be safe amid the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's an amazing invention. Edwin Ramirez, owner of 201 Styles in Union City, said he is awaiting approval from the state before reopening his shop, but in the meantime he has been installing shields on wheels inside the business. The invention is a movable plexiglass shield with a little cutout large enough for the barbers to fit their hands and tools through while cutting or styling a customer's hair. I started putting pieces together and I said, you know what this can be? The thing that's essential for barbers, Ramirez told WPI-TV. Ramirez, who came up with the idea while working at the carpentry shop he owns, yes, he owns a carpentry shop as well, said he has been making about 30 of the shields per day and he is selling them to barbershops and hair salons for $300 each. But not only that, he also makes signs. I don't know how he has time to cut hair. So, this man has his hands in a lot of things. But he also has a sign company and he can make signs for your shield as well. But it showed some of the things that he'd made for taxi drivers, some of the shields, Uber drivers, to keep them safe during this pandemic and also working. So I just found it interesting to see how many things this man has going, and I'm sure he's extremely successful with all of them, Now this next one, I shared this video this week. But before I tell you that, I'm going to tell you a personal story. I had a Siamese cat when I was younger, got him when I was 6. And the reason I got this cat is because the breeder who had him, he could not be used for breeding or show cat because he would cross his eyes. That is something that is a defect with Siamese cats. My cat I named Mitten. He never crossed his eyes unless he was mad. Yeah, if he was mad at me, he would sit across from me and give me the cross-eyed look. Now my cat, as you know, cats like to bring their owners gifts to show them that they love them. Well, I hated that he would bring me dead animals. So he and I had a discussion one time when I was a teenager, and I told him he needed to quit bringing me dead animals. I know he loved me, but I didn't want to see his dead prices. Now, I think that Mitten understood what I was telling him. We talked a lot. As you know, Siamese are great talkers. So, one day I look out there and Mitten has a squirrel in his mouth. It's alive. And it's small. So I went out to save the squirrel. I grabbed Mitten, tried to get him to let go of that squirrel. He would not. And in my teenager stupidity, I reached around and I grabbed hold of the squirrel. Well, Mitten did let loose of the squirrel, and the squirrel promptly bit me, but I saved it. Now we go on to the story. And it says woman, this is a young girl, it's a teenager, attempts to rescue uncooperative squirrel from pool. A Texas woman attempting to rescue a squirrel from a backyard kiddie pool received and caught on camera fright when the animal jumped and climbed up her body. The Lumberton woman who recorded the footage said she spotted the squirrel stranded in her granddaughter's inflatable pool, so she summoned her daughter outside to assess the situation. Yes, that's what we do. We send our teens out to see what's going on. We're not going to sacrifice ourselves. Of course, being the animal lover she is, she had to attempt to rescue, the filmer wrote. The video shows the filmer warning the younger woman not to touch the squirrel, so the rescuer attempts to use a chair to scoop the small animal out of the water. The squirrel initially dodges the chair, but finally gets scooped up. It appears that the squirrel is about to return to dry land, but it abruptly leaps off the chair and climbs onto the woman's body. Now, there's a line this woman says, and it reminded me of my mitten story. I'm saving you. I'm saving you. Let me save you. You have to hear it. You have to see it. The woman panics and flees as the squirrel falls back into the water. She came away with a scratch on her arm, and after a cautious second attempt, she did indeed rescue the squirrel, the filmer wrote. But I'm saving you. It makes me laugh every time I watch it. It's like the little kitten with the iguana lizards. You know, when it sees the lizard, it does all this crazy jumping around. Those two videos, they make me laugh till I cry every time I see them. Our next story comes from Pennsylvania. Mystery pig on the loose in a Pennsylvania neighborhood. Residents of a Pennsylvania neighborhood said a large black pig has been spotted wandering through the area and rooting through gardens, but no one knows where the portly porker came from. Marcia Tomei was the first resident of Spring Street area in Yukon to report spotting the big pig earlier in the week. I hurried up and ran back into the house because I thought it was a small bear, she told WTAE-TV. It was a big, large black pig. Tomei managed to capture photos of the apparent escaped pig before it wandered away from the area. Neighbors said the pig has made repeated appearances in the ensuing days, but no one has come forward to claim the swine as an escaped pet or farm animal. Tomei said she suspects the pig may have been someone's pet due to its friendly demeanor. It was friendly and wanted to be around people, she told CBS Pittsburgh. I have included a link to the television's broadcast of this. All I can say is you have to watch it, and that's all, folks. You gotta watch the video. It's funny. It's hilarious. So that's it for the In Tarnation stories. I hope you enjoyed them. There will be more. I am looking forward to next week having a few more finished items for you to see, as well as a couple of bags in the shop. I'm aiming for Monday to get the shop updated with some bags. I am moving back into the bags and just stepping away from making so many masks to where I am now just making the masks. I have another set of masks that are going up in the shop. Camo, the green, brown, tan camo. And then, of course, these, and then another set of Philadelphia Eagles mask. because that was a big request by someone. So I'm going to put those back up, and then I'm going to be done with selling masks online and going back to selling bags and some other things that I've been making, like the yarn cozies, that kind of stuff. So next week I'm hoping there'll be a nice little different thing, because I can concentrate more on my crochet, because I do have set hours that I sew. Those set hours, I sew for about 4 hours, and then I come back down and I'm done for the day for sewing, and the rest is crochet and knitting. I am looking forward to getting back onto the workshop for the shirt that I had started with the crochet and the knit along. So I'm getting back into that, and hopefully there'll be another update for that next week as well. And a couple of tutorials come along. One is a shawl, the captivating shawl that I had made in the past. Never got to film the tutorial for it. Planning on doing that next week. And a couple of other things. So I'm hoping to see you guys in the future, with some more finished objects that are more crochet and knit related. Everybody have a great week, and remember to be well, be safe, and be kind.